WCNC Charlotte, this is Flashpoint.
Thanks for joining us for what is a special edition of Flashpoint. I'm Ben Thompson. Charlotte is still grieving the 4 officers who were shot and killed Monday trying to serve a warrant at an East Charlotte home. On Friday, hundreds showing up in Uptown to pay their final respects to CMPD officer Joshua Iyer. He's one of 4 heroes who were shot and killed Monday. Correction officers Samuel Pelosi, Alden Elliott, and Deputy Marshal Thomas Weeks also died. It's part of an alarming trend across the country. Data from Officer Down Memorial page shows the number of officers who've died in the line of duty up nearly 22% this year. And there are ongoing efforts to help some of these families. Joining us now is Lindsay Lacazzi. She's the CEO of Back the Blue, North Carolina. Lindsay, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
I don't have to tell you this. This has been a tough week for the folks of Charlotte, these families, the people of the Carolinas. Give us some indication. What are these families? And by family, I say both their immediate family and also their extended family that are they're members of their departments. What are they going through right now?
Shock and grief would be my best guess, of course. I mean, this is the biggest massacre I have seen on law enforcement officers, I want to say, since the attack in Dallas, Texas 8 years ago. I mean, it's just absolutely shocking. The damage that was done, how many officers were injured, how many officers were killed in this situation.
And how is your organization stepping in to help them?
So our organization, Back the Blue N.C, is a 501c3 nonprofit that is dedicated to assisting the children and the families of officers killed in the line of duty here in North Carolina. So when we lose an officer, we immediately jump into action to fundraise for these families. Now, in this case, typically we're used to just dealing with 1 or 2 families at a time. But in this case, we have 4 families that have been affected by a line of duty death.
Data shows officers are dying in the line of duty in an increasing manner in the last year. What needs to happen, do you think, to help protect these officers who are protecting us?
Well, in this situation, I know that they were serving an arrest warrant on a felon in possession of a firearm in order to remove the firearms from him as well. So we need to be able to increase the removal of firearms from the street and from felons who are not able to be in possession of them. Unfortunately, this is exactly what the U.S. Marshals Task Force was intending to do when the suspect opened fire upon them, resulting in this mass casualty incident.
I feel like when we talk about this problem, people say, oh, well, they need to be arrested more. And then police will say, well, we can only do so much. And then the district attorney says, oh, well, I'm not equipped to do this. It's too much, too many cases for me to handle. Where do you see, as a person who sees this on the front lines, where's the rubber meet the road? What needs to change?
I would say our judicial system definitely needs a change. So I'm a former law enforcement officer and a detective. And as a detective or an officer investigating a case and charging a person and serving a warrant, not only are you facing those dangers, but you are doing the best that you can to complete your investigation and to charge these individuals and make sure that they are convicted in the court of law. However, we see that a lot of these offenders are not receiving proper sentences for their offenses, and a lot of them are being released. So there, like you said, there is really so much that law enforcement can do. It is what happens when it goes to the DA and the justice system. So we need to see stricter penalties for these sorts of individuals, especially dangerous felons in possession of firearms.
So then would you say it goes back on lawmakers to come up with some of these stricter policies?
I would say so. I mean, in my experience, that is what I have seen. Also running the nonprofit, I've seen that as well. A lot of offenders, I feel, are not receiving proper sentences for their crimes. They're being released on probation or bond, and then that just allows them to reoffend and become a danger to the public and to law enforcement officials.
Do you feel like you started your group back in 2020? Do you feel like the climate towards law enforcement has changed in that time? You went from folks calling for defunding the police to I think you don't hear those calls quite as much as you do as you did a few years ago. Do you feel like we've found some sort of middle ground here?
That's tough to say. I mean, we were founded in the midst of the defund the police movement just to show our support for law enforcement officers and to show our appreciation as a community because morale was so low. And like you said, we don't hear the defund the police message as much anymore, but the danger against our law enforcement officers has continued to increase. And we are seeing an increase in these violent crimes and deaths occurring with our officers.
And finally, if people want to help out, what can they do?
So right now we have a GoFundMe established for the families that were killed in Monday's tragedy in Charlotte. And that could be found on our website, which is backthebluenc.org. If you cannot donate, please share. If you can, attend the memorial set up by the departments. I know CMPD has a memorial set up right now in honor of Officer Ayers, who was killed. And then there's also a memorial set up by the U.S. Marshal's office in downtown Raleigh, their headquarters.
Lindsay, thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you for your time.
Still to come on Flashpoint, East Charlotte still reeling after terror struck their neighborhood this week. Next, how that community is looking to heal.